Welcome back to the channel, guys. It's been a while. I think the last video I posted was actually from last year. So this is our first video of 2025, and we're going to be kicking off something kind of exciting. Over the past while, I've been trying to think of what fun or interesting videos I can come up with for the channel. And as you know, I am fairly diverse in a lot of the videos that I do around here, whether it's electronics, programming, metal fabrication, machining, welding, you name it. I am not afraid to take any of that on. However, this video in particular will be going back to a tried and true topic that I have been able to get rid of in my mind, and that is the tracked vehicle. Now, for those of you who've been with the channel since the beginning, you will have followed the build process for the Mini Snowcat. And throughout that process, we've had to swap parts in and out. And also through that process, I've accumulated a lot of extra little bits and pieces. So I think this is the perfect opportunity to try and take some of those pieces and put them to use. And having said that, today we're going to be starting a new build on a personal tracked vehicle. As I had mentioned, I have accumulated a lot of parts while we were swapping different components in and out to try and get the Snowcat to operate as we wanted it to. And so here is a collection of what I have come up with for major project components for this personal track vehicle build. We have the original snowmobile undercarriage. We have two, actually. We have two 121-inch snowmobile tracks. We have all of the drive cogs for those tracks. We have 1-inch bearings galore. We have our original hydrostatic pumps and motors. And last but not least, we have a spare reservoir and a spare power plant. Of course, we have a little bit of leftover steel from when I built the solar panels out in the yard. And all together, the idea here is to build ourselves a single-seat, lightweight, tracked vehicle. Let's take some of these parts and put them into place and see how this is all going to start to take shape. Well, this is the basic form of what we are going to be putting together. A simple one-seat tracked vehicle with hydraulic drive for each of the tracks. Let's take a look at what I'm going to be doing for this particular build that may differ from the other Mini Snowcat. First of all, we are going to be going with a horizontal shaft engine. This engine has been sitting out in my compound for a couple of years. It's going to need some TLC. I'm really hoping that we're going to be able to get this to work for this project. The real spirit of this project is just to try and use up as many of these spare parts around here to build something cool, be cost effective, and just have some fun doing it. So, like I said, this engine is a little tired, but I think it should do the job once we get the carburetor clean, change the oil, and get it started up again. We're going to be building an adapter plate that will hold the two pumps for the left and right track drives. And once we get that together, that's going to basically be one homogeneous unit so that it can just get kind of installed onto the machine and then removed if required. So that'll be pretty straightforward. We have the original control cables from the Mini Snowcat as well. I think we're going to be able to repurpose these. So the idea is going to be single seat with just two levers right in front of you there, basically forward, reverse for each side. That's about all there is to that. When it comes to the tracks now, I would like to do something a little bit different. If you recall on the Mini Snowcat, we actually had, I would say, a tunnel in the center part of the unit where we mounted the two hydraulic motors, and they were basically direct driving the tracks through the track drive sprocket. And we had basically, it was a motor on each side kind of in this location, and it was just coupled to the drive shaft on the track. For this build, I would like to do something very different and unique. Rather than having those motors mounted in the middle of the tunnel, I would like to try and mount those motors right into the track so that The track drive system is basically an integrated unit, and all we'll have is a set of hoses that go from the motor to the pump, and that'll be it. So to be able to do that, we're going to take the original track drive sprockets and adapt them so that they can fit onto a round keyed shaft. And we have some of that here already. I find it quite incredible that I have so many spare parts laying around. I haven't spent any additional money right now. This is all spare parts that we're looking at here. We're going to build a different type of drive system where inside of the track, we're going to mount this motor. We're going to do a chain drive from the motor up to a sprocket mounted on the front of that drive system. We're going to support everything off of a pair of bearings, and so it's all going to be integral. Let's flip this track over, and I'm going to get into a little more detail on how we are going to do that. Here is our track setup, and this is what I'm going to propose for this build. We're going to use the exact same undercarriage from the Mini Snowcat as is. We're not going to make any modifications to that. But the plan here is going to take our original track drive sprockets and basically have them so that this section of tube that carries on here will extend that up and forward to a point where we can actually install a pillow block bearing somewhere in there to support that track, or to support that shaft. And then the drive sprockets are actually going to mount on that externally so that the bearings will actually be housed within the width of the track. So we're going to have the outer drive sprocket there. We'll have an outer drive sprocket here. We're going to have one internal drive sprocket, which actually kind of meshes into the center part there. And we're not going to do a second one on the other side. In place of the other one on the other side, we're actually going to put a drive sprocket there. And that drive sprocket is going to connect to the motor, which will be located a little bit further back here. And that will allow us to keep everything inside the footprint of the track. So we're going to come up with some kind of a mounting system like this that will hold the motor in place, and probably have it so that the hoses are coming in and out towards the back, and it'll be connected via a 50 pitch roller chain. And then it'll keep everything inside the footprint of the track, so we can kind of minimize all of the mechanics that are involved here. That gives you a little sneak peek on how we're going to set up the track drive for the machine. Aside from that, there's not going to be a lot of other in-depth fabrication required to get this unit running. As usual, we're not going to jump right into the fabrication of the machine. What I like to do is tick off a lot of the other little side fabrication projects first. So that would be building out the tracks, getting the track drive motors and chains all set up to a point where they are ready to get installed on the machine. We're going to do the same for the pump mount that's going to connect the hydraulic pumps to the engine. Once we get to that point, I think we're going to be in a good situation where we can actually take the long tubes that are going to make the frame of the vehicle, cut those to length, start to put that little chassis together, and then it's just a matter of mounting the engine, connecting the tracks, and running some hoses. Like I mentioned previously, I would like to keep this as simple as possible to be able to control budget, and just to keep it something that's not going to take months and months to accomplish. So that's about all I have for this video. We're not going to be diving into any of the fabrication yet. That will be coming in the next set of videos. Right now, I'd like to come up with a little bit more of a materials list and a plan on what I need to start doing. And I'm also looking for a little bit of feedback. If you guys are excited about this project, you have any questions or comments, suggestions, design ideas, please let me know. I would like to try and incorporate any of that into this build. The same also goes for the channel format. If you like the way that I am presenting content, please let me know. If you like to see my face a little more, if you like to see me talking through the design process a little more, I can do that. Otherwise, if you enjoy the perspective type of content where I'm just showing you what I'm doing, not necessarily focusing on how I'm doing it, that's okay too. I do appreciate any feedback you guys have. And further on that note, the channel is now at 950 subscribers. That is fantastic. I really am thrilled to have all of you following along on the variety of projects that I have taken on. It's a little bit overwhelming at times to see all the different fields of interest that I have, but I do appreciate everybody that has subscribed so far. If there is anybody else who you may think this type of content appeals to, please be sure to let them know and encourage them to like and subscribe as well. I would really love to get over 1,000 subscribers, and I think this video might help us get to that point. So to that end, I'd like to thank all of you for sticking around and enjoying the content. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks for watching.